Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Universal Monsters Ultimate Frankenstein's Monster. In case some of you out there think that Frankenstein is the name of the monster and not the doctor. Yeah, I'm still a little miffed about all the comments I got on my Mego videos for that, but moving on, this of course brought to us by the fine folks over at NECA Toys, and longtime subscribers of my channel will remember that, heck, what was it, 2021? I took a look at the black and white version of this guy. This is in fact the colored version, but since that was so long ago and that figure also wasn't mine, so I couldn't go as in depth with the accessories as I would have liked, we're going to do our best to give you the most in-depth review minus the size comparison shtick I usually do, because the Universal Monsters figures I'll be looking at on the channel this week are all from NECA Toys, so it should be blatantly obvious that they're going to all be in scale with one another. I think the scaling across the line is perfect, or as close to perfect as it can be, so we're just going to omit that and just assume that y'all know that these guys are in scale. That, and it'll keep the videos a little bit shorter. So, with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase and take a look-see at all Frankenstein's Monster has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of more open gesture hands. He's got some flat gesture hands on him in the package, but these are a little bit more splayed open. I'm debating on displaying him with these, but I'm not 100% sure just yet. We also get a pair of different gesture style hands. This one is kind of pointing a little bit. This one is more of a grip kind of pose. That's nice. We also get a couple little flowers. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with a little girl to throw in the creek, but he does get the flowers. So that is nice. And the kind of pseudo grip hands can hold those, but just don't tip them upside down. We also get a couple extra heads. One of them's kind of gritting its teeth, and the other one is just kind of dumbfounded. He's like, what am I doing here? And last but not least, my favorite accessory are the shackles. Now, you do have to take off the hands, put these on. They don't open up or anything, but that's fine. That's fair enough. But I do like these quite a bit. And I will be displaying mine with these, because I don't have a lot of Frankenstein monsters with the shackles. So, taking a closer look at Frankenstein's monster, one thing you can come to expect, not just from this figure, but NECA Toys in general, is the sculpt and paint is next level. He looks just like a little miniature Boris Karloff in the Frankenstein suit, which is awesome. That's what you want, right? He's got nice texturing on the jacket, on the pants, on the boots. The skin tone is a different texture from everything else. The head sculpt is the same texture as the hands. The hair has its own texture. He's even got the little bolts on his neck. I will tell you, when you're swapping the heads, be careful of these bolts. You don't want to snap them off by accident. They're PVC, so they probably flex a bit, but you don't want to go cranking on stuff. I will say his neck does rotate. It is a separate piece, but it is a little tricky to rotate, so be mindful of that. Again, you don't want to bend up the bolts on his neck. They are very thin, but I don't think you should worry about snapping them too much. That said, this is probably the head sculpt I will use on this figure. I like the gritted teeth one, but I think it's a little bit smiley, but still good. That said, this is the classic Boris Karloff Frankenstein face. That's the one you want to rock on the shelf. That said, as far as articulation goes, he can look up pretty well. For a big, just hulking monster guy, he's looking straight up in the air with a double ball peg and a ball joint in the base of the neck. He can look down too. I don't think he can look down as far as he can look up, but he can look down far enough, I think. That said, his shoulders can go out to the side. 90 degrees, how about that? back down, forward and back. Single jointed elbow with rotation. You get about 90 out of that though. Swivel in the wrist with a hinge. Nothing in the forearm. He's got I think a diaphragm joint and a ball joint in the waist, so he can crunch forward a little bit. He can crunch back a little bit too, but you're not going to get a ton out of that. You do get rotation out of both, and you do get some tilt out of both. But again, it's pretty hindered due to the clothes and just the sculpt. But it is Frankenstein's monster. What do you want, really? Perfect splits. You can almost do it. Just be mindful of the diaper there. You don't want to tear that. But you can almost do the splits. You can kick forward pretty far. It's got a thigh cut up in there. Not too squeaky, but not too loose either. Swivel in the knee. Works better when you bend it, so why don't we do that? There you go. Swivel in the knee there. And the bend gives you about 90. Does it do more? It does if you push it the right way. There you go. Kinda. Not force it per se, but if you bend it a certain angle, you can get more out of that. And then the feet. Very, very tight. Jeez Louise. You can get a little forward and back out of that. It's a little hindered due to his Paul Stanley pumped up kicks there. Platform shoes. He does have a rocker though, and he does, I think, have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So if you need to help him stand, you can, but I don't think he needs it. The shoes are big enough. He's very stable. He sits right down, and you shouldn't have any problems with it. But I'm excited to finally be taking a look at these on the channel. I don't have them all as of the time I'm recording this video, which is way in advance, like months in advance. We're in the summertime. That's the time I'm recording this. You guys aren't going to see it until closer to Halloween-y time, because when the heck else are you supposed to post a video like this? I mean, come on, man. But hopefully by then, I have a couple more of these, at least Dracula and the Creature of the Black Lagoon. I want those really bad, but, you know, money's tight, times are hard. You know the drill. That said, before we wrap this thing up, why don't we bring in our two regulars. So you see how he scales with non-NECA figures. We got the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulas right there. And the infamous NECA 11 Spawn, who I'll be surprised if he's towering over everyone today. No, he is not. Frankenstein is Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein's monster is almost a whole head taller than good old Al Simmons here. But, again, that's probably due to the Paul Stanley platform shoes, isn't it? So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if you saw my review of the black and white version of good old Frankenstein's monster here, you know that I loved it then. I love it now. The only upside to having the colored version compared to the black and white version is you can only take black and white pictures with the black and white one, but the colored version, if you want to take a black and white picture of it, all you gotta do is turn on a filter and bada bing bada boom, you get both versions, but only have to buy one of the figures. That, my friends, is the benefit of the colored versions of these Universal Monsters figures from the fine folks over at NECA Toys. And that's also probably why they're sold out dang near everywhere, except for a select handful. So if you haven't picked them up yet, and you're interested in checking them out, you better do so sooner rather than later, because no one knows how long these guys are going to stick around. They are popular characters, after all, even though the movies are, what, almost 100 years old at this point. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.